Guy Michael's injuries, as you know, knocked him out of the competition, but it could have been a lot worse. Steve Noble on the Outback doctor who was the first on the scene. And if you're squeamish, you're warned.
His screams said it all. One look at his hands, and you knew Mike's days as a survivor were over.
I can't decide whether I should keep trying to bend them or not.
But his burn injuries might have been far worse had it not been for the survivor medics who rushed to his side.
Our job to keep them alive till they get to definitive care. They can be 4.5 hours away, and we have to be able to look after them that whole time.
Dr. Adrian Cohen runs immediate assistance. Here you see him when his hair was blonde, giving emergency first aid to Mike.
The first hour is called the golden hour for a reason. If you can get to somebody, stabilize them, stop life-threatening hemorrhage or breathing difficulties, they have a much greater chance of survival.
But Dr. Cohen knew early on that not even the best medical care in the world could keep Mike in the show. After he was airlifted to the nearest hospital, an hour's flight away, doctors referred Mike to Australia's #1 burn unit, another 3 hours away by air.
He was in for 2 weeks. We paid all the bills. We spoke to him every day. I had a producer at his bedside 24 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Mark Burnett is the executive producer of Survivor.
The response time and the care given to him was exemplary. So this is just confirming that we know what we're doing when things go wrong.
And in an exclusive interview with Inside Edition, Dr. Cohen says it's up to him to decide if a survivor is fit enough to stay in the show.
Yes, there's a big prize at the end. Yes, you've given up a lot to go here, but if you keep going, you are going to injure yourself or somebody else.
What would you say was the most dangerous part of this competition?
Some of the challenges that you'll see, you'll look at and say, these people are crazy.
But as dangerous as it might look, Dr. Cohen says great care was taken to keep the contestants safe.
Survivor is not about breaking people so that they can't continue their lives. It's about testing them up to their limits.
And although we don't see it on the show itself, Dr. Cohen says all of the survivors made use of his medical care in what he calls his Outback ER.
Would you like tetanus shot? At some stage during the 42 days, all of the competitors needed some maintenance.
They also had to treat many of the 300 crews supporting the production, including a local man who also had to be airlifted, just like Mike.
They got on the radio and called us in, and we were able to look after this guy and get him medevac back to Cairns. We thankfully made a good recovery.
24 hours a day the helicopter is there and the medical crews are there, always ready to go.
Dr. Cohen's team, who also provided support for Mission Impossible 2, which was also shot in Australia, says their mission on Survivor was different. They had to keep their stars healthy without giving them an unfair advantage.
We had to step in, and that's part of our job. Our job is to keep people in the show, not to find a way to get them out.
They couldn't have been dealt with better. I think as outdoor adventure producers, there's no team as good as our team.
Interesting, while everybody was most worried about snake bites, there were only 3 or 4 suspected snake bites and none of them were confirmed. The biggest complaint that was treated was stress.